Mr. Harrison Cole stood in the hospital hallway with tears running down his face. He was one of the richest men in America. His company made billions of dollars every year. He owned houses in 5 different countries. He had cars that cost more than most people's homes. But right now, none of that mattered. His baby daughter was dying, and all his money was useless. Baby Emma was only 6 months old. She had the brightest blue eyes and the sweetest smile. 3 days ago, she stopped eating. Then she stopped smiling. Her tiny body became hot with fever. Her parents rushed her to the hospital, thinking the doctors would fix her quickly. But they were wrong. The doctors ran test after test. They took her blood. They looked inside her body with special machines. They tried different medicines. Nothing worked. Emma kept getting worse. Her breathing became slow and difficult. Her little heart was beating too fast. "We don't understand what's happening," Dr. Peterson told Mr. Cole. Dr. Peterson was the best children's doctor in the state. He had saved thousands of babies. But he couldn't save Emma. Her body is shutting down and we can't figure out why. Every test we run comes back normal. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. Mr. Cole felt like his world was ending. "Bring in more doctors," he said. His voice shook with fear. "I don't care what it costs. Fly them in from anywhere. Just save my daughter." And so they came. Doctors flew in from New York, California, and even from Europe. They were the smartest medical minds in the world. They stood around Emma's tiny bed, looking at her charts, talking in big words that Mr. Cole didn't understand. But the answer was always the same. Nobody knew what was wrong. Nobody knew how to help. Mrs. Cole, Emma's mother, hadn't left the baby's side in 2 days. She held Emma's small hand and sang soft songs. She prayed and cried and begged God for a miracle. Mr. Cole wanted to be strong for his wife, but inside, he was breaking into pieces. It was almost midnight on the 3rd night when something strange happened. A young girl walked into the hospital. She looked about 14 years old. Her name was Maya. Her clothes were old and worn. Her shoes had holes in them. Her dark skin was dusty, like she had been walking for a long time. She carried a small, torn backpack on her shoulders. Maya walked straight to the front desk. The nurse looked at her with surprise. "Can I help you, honey?" the nurse asked. "Are you lost?" "I need to see the baby on the 4th floor," Maya said quietly. "The one who is very sick. I can help her." The nurse's face became confused. "Sweetie, visiting hours are over. And how do you know about the baby upstairs?" "That information is private." "Please," Maya said. Her voice was urgent but calm. "I know you don't understand, but I can help. I know what's wrong with her." The nurse shook her head. "Young lady, there are 20 doctors upstairs who can't figure out what's wrong. I think you need to go home." "Where are your parents?" Maya's eyes filled with sadness. "I don't have parents. Not anymore. But that doesn't matter right now. What matters is the baby. She doesn't have much time left." The security guard walked over. He was a big man with a stern face. "Is there a problem here?" "This girl is confused," the nurse said. "She needs to leave." But Maya didn't move. "The baby has poison in her blood," she said loudly. "Not the kind that doctors know about. It's from a plant. A rare plant that grows in only a few places. The family has a garden, don't they? With plants from all over the world?" The baby touched something she shouldn't have. The nurse and the security guard stared at Maya. How could this poor girl know these things? At that exact moment, Mr. Cole stepped out of the elevator. He was going to get coffee, trying to stay awake. He heard Maya's words and stopped walking. "What did you just say?" he asked, walking toward them. Maya turned to face him. She looked straight into his eyes. "Your baby touched a plant in your garden. A rare plant with tiny thorns. The poison is in her blood, moving slowly. The doctors can't see it because they're not looking for it. But I know. I've seen it before." Mr. Cole's heart began to race. They did have a special garden. His wife loved collecting rare plants from around the world. Emma had been in that garden the morning before she got sick. Could this strange girl be right? "Who are you?" he asked. "My name is Maya," she said. "And I can save your daughter." But we have to hurry. She doesn't have much time. Mr. Cole looked at this young girl with torn clothes and worn shoes. She looked like she had nothing, but her eyes held something powerful. Knowledge. Certainty. Truth. Come with me, he said. The security guard stepped forward. Sir, you can't just bring random people up to the children's floor. Mr. Cole turned to him with fierce eyes. My daughter is dying. Every doctor in the world is upstairs, and none of them can help her. If this girl has even a tiny chance of knowing something they don't, I'm taking that chance. Now move. They got in the elevator together. Maya stood quietly, her small hands gripping her backpack. Mr. Cole looked down at her. If you're lying, if this is some kind of trick. It's not, Maya said softly. I promise you, Mr. Cole, I'm here to help. As the elevator doors opened on the 4th floor, Mr. Cole wondered if he was making the biggest mistake of his life, or if this mysterious girl was the miracle he had been praying for. The doctors were about to find out that sometimes the answer comes from the most unexpected place. When they walked into Emma's room, every head turned. Dr. Peterson stood up quickly. Mr. Cole, who is this? This is Maya, Mr. Cole said. She says she knows what's wrong with Emma. The room went silent. Then one of the doctors from New York started laughing. Not a happy laugh. A mean laugh. You brought a child up here? A homeless child, by the look of it? Sir, we are trained medical professionals. This is ridiculous. Mrs. Cole looked up from Emma's bedside. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying. Harrison, what's going on? Maya stepped forward. She didn't look scared, even though all these important doctors were staring at her. She walked right up to Emma's bed and looked down at the baby. Emma's breathing was very shallow now. Her lips were turning blue. She's getting worse, Maya said quietly. We don't have much time. Dr. Peterson put his hand on Maya's shoulder. Young lady, I don't know what you think you know, but this is a sterile medical environment. You need to leave before you cause more problems. Maya turned to face him. My mother was a plant scientist, she said. Her voice was steady but sad. She studied rare plants from all over the world. She taught me everything she knew. We lived in Kenya, in a small village near a forest. When I was 10 years old, my baby brother got sick. Just like this baby. The same symptoms. Fever, trouble breathing, his body shutting down. Everyone in the room was listening now. The doctors in our village didn't know what was wrong, Maya continued. But my mother figured it out. My brother had touched a plant called the devil's thorn. It grows in only 3 places in the world. Kenya, parts of South America, and 1 place in Asia. The plant has tiny thorns that you can barely see. When they touch your skin, they release a poison. A poison that moves very slowly through your blood. Most doctors never see it because it's so rare. Mr. Harrison Cole stood in the hospital hallway with tears running down his face. A collector sold it to me last year in America. He said it was very rare. His company made billions of dollars keep it in the corner every year, away from everything else. In 5 different countries. Maya nodded. He had cars that cost more than most people's homes. Mrs. Cole's hand flew to her mouth. But right now, none of that mattered. Maybe. His baby daughter was dying, in the garden that morning, and all his money was useless. Showing her the flowers. Baby Emma was so curious. Only 6 months old. She had the brightest blue eyes and the sweetest smile. What have I done? 3 days ago, Dr. Peterson's face changed. Then she stopped smiling. He wasn't laughing anymore. Her tiny body, if this is true, became hot with fever. How would we test for it? Her parents rushed her to the hospital. There's a medicine the doctors would fix her quickly. My mother made it herself. But they were wrong. The doctors my brother's life after test. It's made from the bark of a tree that grows inside her body. With special machines. Nature's way of balancing things out. They tried different medicines. The poison and the cure grow near each other. Emma kept getting worse. That's impossible. Her breathing became slow and difficult. We would need to find this tree. Her little heart was beating too fast. Test it. We don't understand what's happening. Dr. Peterson told her torn backpack. Dr. Peterson pulled out a small glass children's doctor filled with dark brown liquid. He had saved thousands of babies. The room exploded. He couldn't save Emma. Her body is shutting down, and we can't figure out what's in it. Every test we run comes back normal. She could kill the child. It's like nothing we've ever seen took before. The bottle from Maya's hand. Mr. Cole felt like his world was ending. We need to know what's in it. Bring in more doctors. That will take hours. His voice shook with fear. The baby doesn't have hours. Maya
Fly
said.
them in from
Tears
anywhere.
were running down her
Just
face.
save
Now.
my daughter.
Please.
And so they
I know
came.
you don't trust me.
Doctors flew
I
in
know
from
I'm
New
just
York,
a poor girl
California,
with nothing.
and
But
even
my
from
mother
Europe.
taught me everything.
They were the smartest
After
medical
she
minds
saved my
in the
brother,
world.
She
They
made
stood
more
around
of this
Emma's
medicine.
tiny bed.
She said
looking
that
at her
one day,
charts, someone else
talking
might
in
need
big
it.
words that
She
Mr.
kept it
Cole
safe.
didn't understand.
She protected
But
it.
the answer
Where
was
is your
always
mother
the
now?
same.
Nobody
Mrs.
knew
Cole
what was wrong.
asked gently.
Nobody
Maya's
knew how to
voice
help.
broke.
Mrs.
She
Cole
died 2 years
Emma's
ago.
mother hadn't left the
Sickness
baby's
took her.
side in 2
Then
days.
sickness took my father.
She held Emma's small
Then my
hand
brother died
and
too,
sang soft songs
from something different.
She
that we
prayed
couldn't cure.
and cried.
I had
and
nothing
begged
left.
God for a miracle.
No family.
Mr. Cole
No
wanted
home.
to be strong for his
I've
wife.
been moving from place
but
to
inside,
place,
carrying my
he was
mother's
breaking
medicine,
into pieces,
hoping that one
it was
day I
almost
could use it to
midnight
help
on the
someone.
third night when
to
something
make her
strange
proud.
happened.
A
The
young
room
girl
was
walked
quiet
into the
except
hospital
for the sound of
She
Emma's
looked about
breathing
14
machine.
years old.
2 days ago,
Her name was Maya.
I heard people talking
Her
about
clothes
a
were
rich
old
man's baby
and
who was
worn.
dying.
Her
Maya
shoes had
continued.
holes in them.
They said
Her
no
dark
doctor
skin
could
was
save her.
dusty, and
Like
I
she
knew.
had been walking for a
I knew
long
in my
time.
heart it was
She
the
carried a
devil's
small,
thorn,
torn
because
backpack
I've seen
on
it
her
before.
shoulders.
I've
Maya
lived it
walked
before.
straight to the front desk.
Mr. Cole
The nurse
looked at with surprise.
Emma's chest
Can I
was
help you,
barely
honey?
moving.
The nurse asked.
The monitors were
Are you
beeping
lost?
slower.
I need
Time
to see
was
the
running
baby on
out.
the 4th floor.
He looked at the 20
Maya
doctors
said
standing
quietly.
around the room.
The one who
the
is
best
very
in the world.
sick.
And
I
they
can
had
help
nothing
her.
to offer.
The nurse's
He looked at
face
Maya,
became
a
confused.
young girl who had lost
Sweetie,
everything.
Visiting hours
who had
are
walked
over.
through the night
And
carrying
how do you
hope in a
know about
bottle.
the baby upstairs?
Give her the medicine, he
That
said.
information is
Sir,
private.
please.
You can't be serious,
Maya said. Dr.
Her
Peterson
voice was
said.
urgent but calm.
We have no
I
idea
know
what's
you
in
don't
that bottle.
understand. It could
But I
kill
can
her.
help.
I know what's
She's
wrong
already
with her.
dying, Mr.
The
Cole
nurse
said.
shook her
His
head.
voice was firm
Young
now.
lady, there are
Strong.
20 doctors
You've all
upstairs
told
who
me
can't figure
there's
out what's
nothing
wrong.
more you can do.
I think you need to
You've
go
given
home.
up.
But
Where
this
are your
girl
parents?
hasn't. She walked
Maya's
through the night
eyes
to get
filled
here.
with sadness.
She's offering us
I don't
the
have parents.
only hope we have
Not
left.
anymore.
I'll give her the medicine.
But that doesn't matter
Maya
right
said.
now.
I know
What
the exact
matters
amount
is the baby.
My mother taught
She
me.
doesn't have much time
Mrs.
left.
Cole walked over.
The security
and
guard
took Maya's
walked
hand.
over.
He
Do
was a
it,
big
she
man
said.
with a stern
Save our
face.
baby.
Is there a
Dr.
problem here?
Peterson shook his
This
head.
girl is confused.
I have to protest
the nurse
this.
said. It goes
She needs
against
to leave.
everything we know about
But
medicine.
Maya didn't move.
Then protest.
The baby is poison
Mr.
in her
Cole
blood,
said. She said
But
loudly.
get out of the way.
Not the kind that
Maya
doctors know
opened the
about.
bottle
It's
with
from a
shaking
plant.
hands.
A rare
She
plant
measured out
that
a small
grows in
amount
only a
of the
few
brown
places.
liquid.
The
The
family
room
has
held
a
its
garden,
breath
don't they?
as she lifted
With
it to
plants from
Emma's
all over
tiny
the
lips.
world.
The
This was
baby
the
touched
moment
something
that would
she
change
shouldn't have.
everything. The
Maya
nurse
gently
and the security
opened
guard
Emma's
stared
small
at Maya
mouth
and let 3
How
drops
could this
of the
poor
brown
girl know
medicine
these
fall
things?
onto her tongue.
At that exact
then
moment,
she closed the bottle
Mr. Cole
and
stepped
out
out
of the elevator.
Everyone
He
watched
was going to get
and
coffee,
waited.
trying
The
to
room
stay
was
awake.
so quiet
He
you
heard
could
Maya's
hear people's
words
hearts beating.
and stopped walking.
For 10 seconds,
What did you just
nothing
say?
happened.
He asked.
Emma lay
walking
still.
toward them. Her
Maya
tiny
turned to
chest
face
barely
him.
moving.
She looked
Then
straight
something
into his
incredible
eyes.
began.
Your baby
Emma's
touched a
fingers
plant in your
twitched.
garden.
Her
A rare
eyelids
plant
fluttered.
with tiny
A small
thorns.
cough came from
The
her
poison
throat.
is in her
The
blood.
monitor that
Moving
showed her
slowly.
heartbeat started beeping
The doctors
faster.
can't see it
but
because
not
they're
the
not
scary
looking for
fast
it.
from before.
But I know.
A healthy fast.
I've seen it before.
A strong fast.
Mr. Cole's heart
Mrs.
began
Cole
to
gasped.
race.
Look
They
at her
didn't have a
lips.
special garden.
They're turning pink
His
again.
wife loved
It was
collecting
true.
rare plants from
The
around
blue
the world.
color was
Emma
fading
had
away.
been in that garden
Emma's
the morning
breathing
before
became
she got
deeper.
sick.
Stronger.
Could this strange
Her
girl
little
be right?
chest moved up
Who are
and
you?
down
He
with more
asked.
power. My name's
Dr.
Maya.
Peterson
she said.
rushed to check the
And
monitors.
I can save your
His
daughter.
eyes grew wide.
But we have to hurry.
Her oxygen
she
levels
doesn't have
are
much
rising.
time. Her heart
Mr.
rate
Cole
is
looked at this
stabilizing.
young girl with torn
This
clothes
is
and worn
impossible.
shoes. But
She
it was
looked like
happening
she
right
had
in
nothing,
front of
but her
everyone's
eyes
eyes.
held something
Within
powerful.
5 minutes,
Knowledge.
Emma opened
Certainty.
her eyes.
Those
Truth.
beautiful blue
Come with
eyes
me,
that her
he said.
parents thought
The
they
security
might never
guard
see
stepped
again.
forward.
She looked
Sir,
around the room.
You can't just bring
confused
random
by
people up
all
to the
the people
children's
staring
floor.
at her.
Mr.
Then
Cole
she saw
turned
her
to
mother's
him with
face
fierce eyes.
and smiled. My daughter
That
is
sweet,
dying.
perfect
Every
smile.
doctor in the world
Mrs.
is upstairs
Cole burst into
and
tears
none of them can
and
help her.
scooped her baby
if
into
this
her
girl
arms.
has even a tiny
She held Emma
chance of
tight,
knowing something they
crying
don't,
and laughing
I'm
at
taking
the same
that
time.
chance.
Now
Mr.
move.
Cole wrapped his arms around
on
got
both
in
of
the
them,
elevator together.
tears streaming
Maya
down his
stood
face.
quietly,
For
her
the
small
first time in
hands
3
gripping
days,
her backpack.
his daughter was
Mr.
alive
Cole
and
looked
awake
down
in
at
his
her.
arms.
If you're lying,
the doctors
if
stood
this is
frozen,
some kind of trick,
unable to believe what
it's
they had
not.
just seen. Maya
Science
said
had
softly.
failed.
I
But something
promise you,
bigger
Mr.
than
Cole,
science had worked.
I'm here to help.
Maya stood in the corner,
As the elevator
watching.
doors opened
Tears
on the 4th
rolled down
floor,
her cheeks.
Mr. Cole
But
wondered
she was
if he
smiling.
was making the biggest
She had
mistake
done
of his
it.
life.
She had
or
saved
if
a
this
life with her
mysterious
mother's
girl
medicine.
was the miracle
Her mother
he had
would
been
be
praying
so
for.
proud.
The doctors
Dr.
were about
Peterson
to find
walked
out
over
that
to Maya.
sometimes
His face
the
looked
answer
different
comes
now.
from the most
Softer.
unexpected place.
Humble.
When they
I
walked
owe
into
you an
Emma's
apology,
room,
he said.
every head
I should have
turned.
listened to you.
Dr. Peterson
How did you
stood
know
up
to come
quickly.
here tonight?
Mr. Cole,
Maya
who is
wiped her
this?
eyes.
This is
I
Maya.
had a dream 3
Mr.
nights
Cole
ago.
said. She
saw
says she
a
knows
baby
what's
girl
wrong
with
with
blue
Emma.
eyes,
The
dying
room
in a hospital.
went silent.
I saw
Then
her
one of the
parents
doctors
crying,
from New York
and I
started
heard my
laughing.
mother's voice telling
Not a
me to
happy
come.
laugh, telling
A
me
mean laugh.
that this was why
You
she
brought a
made me
child up
carry the
here?
medicine
A
all
homeless
this time.
child. I
By
didn't
the
know
look of
where
it,
to go at first.
Sir, but
we are
yesterday
trained medical
I heard people
professionals.
talking about Mr.
This
Cole's
is
sick baby.
ridiculous. And I knew it was the
Mrs.
girl
Cole
from my
looked up
dream.
from Emma's bedside. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying. Harrison, what's going on? Maya stepped forward. She didn't look scared, even though all these important doctors were staring at her. She walked right up to Emma's bed and looked down at the baby. Emma's breathing was very shallow now. Her lips were turning blue. She's getting worse, Maya said quietly. We don't have much time. Dr. Peterson put his hand on Maya's shoulder. Young lady, I don't know what you think you know, but this is a sterile medical environment. You need to leave before you cause more problems. Maya turned to face him. My mother was a plant scientist, she said. Her voice was steady but sad. She studied rare plants from all over the world. She taught me everything she knew. We lived in Kenya, in a small village near a forest. When I was 10 years old, my baby brother got sick. Just like this baby. The same symptoms. Fever, trouble breathing, his body shutting down. Everyone in the room was listening now. The doctors in our village didn't know what was wrong, Maya continued. But my mother figured it out. My brother had touched a plant called the devil's thorn. It grows in only 3 places in the world. Kenya, parts of South America, and 1 place in Asia. The plant has tiny thorns that you can barely see. When they touch your skin, they release a poison. A poison that moves very slowly through your blood. Most doctors never see it because it's so rare.
Mr.
Dr.
Harrison
Harrison
Cole
stood in the
forward.
hospital
We do have that
hallway
young lady
with
with
tears
what you did
running
tonight
down
our
her
guards
face.
beyond
A
medicine.
collector
He was one of
sold
the
a
richest
young
men
men in America.
He
You
said
have
it
a
was
gift.
very
Company
rare.
made
It's
billions
not
of
my
dollars
keep it in the corner
every year.
Maya
said
away
quietly.
from houses.
Everything
It's
in
my
5
mother's.
different countries.
Maya
She
nodded.
spent her
He had
whole
cars
life
that touched
studying
more than
plants.
most
Mrs.
people
Cole
learning their
hands flew to
secrets.
her
But
mouth.
right now,
she believed
I don't
that
know.
nature had
Maybe
cured
his baby
for
daughter
everyone. We were
was
in the
dying.
garden
If
that
only
morning.
we knew where to
I was
look.
showing her the flowers.
She died
Baby Emma
before she
was
was
so
sharing
curious.
all her
6
knowledge
months old.
with
She
the world.
reaches
She had
for
the brightest
blue
shared it with
eyes
me.
and
Oh,
the
God.
sweetest
Mr.
smile.
Cole
What have I
walked
done?
over
3
to
days
Maya.
ago, Dr.
She
Peterson
knelt down,
face
so he was
changed.
at her
Then
level.
she stopped
He wasn't
smiling.
laughing
He took both her
anymore.
hands
Her
in
tiny
his.
body,
Even if this is
Maya,
true,
hot with
how would
fever.
save my daughter's
Her
life?
parents
How
rushed
would
her
we
to
give
the
you back
hospital.
There's a
Everything that
medicine the
mattered,
doctors
Maya
would
said.
fix
How
her
can I
quickly.
my mother
Ever
made
but they
herself.
were wrong.
Maya
She's
looked
the
at
doctors
my
ran
test
test
after
test.
test.
This Billionaire,
It's made
they
from the
took her
bark
by
of
a
anything
tree
in
that
the
they
world
looked
near
inside
the
of
You
body
don't need to
with
thank me.
special
Nature's
machines.
way of balancing
I'm
tried
just
happy
happy
medicine.
Emma.
The
It's okay.
poison
Nothing
and the
worked.
cure
Where will you
grown
go
near
now?
each
Emma
other.
kept getting worse.
That's
Mrs. Cole's
impossible.
breathing
The
became
doctor
she was
from
still
Arizona
holding
and
Emma.
difficult.
We would
Who
need to
was
find
her
a
little
tree
heart was
peacefully.
beating
The
too
medicine
fast.
test it.
You
We
said
don't
you have no
understand what's
family.
happening. No,
Dr.
Maya
Peterson
reached
told
into
her
her
Maya
torn
looked
backpack.
down.
Dr.
I'll
Peterson
find
pulled out a
somewhere.
small glass
I
children's
always
doctor
do.
filled with dark brown
No,
liquid.
he had saved
Mr.
her
Cole
here.
said firmly.
The room
You'll
is
come home.
loaded
You couldn't
with
save
voices.
Emma. We have
Her
plenty
body
of room.
give that to
shutting
the
down.
baby.
You'll have your
and
own
we
bed.
can't
You don't
figure
know
out
what's
why.
your own space.
Every
This
test
is
we run
insane.
go to the
Back
best. She
normals.
could kill the
It's
child.
like
You'll have
nothing
Dr.
we've
Peterson
ever
took
seen
the
before.
bottle from
Maya's
Maya's
eyes
Mr.
grew
Cole
wide.
felt
We need
like
to
his
test
world
this.
was
Can't accept
ending.
that. We need to know what's
Bring
in
more
it. Too much.
doctors.
That will
She
take
said.
hours.
It is
not
3
enough.
days.
Shook with
Mrs.
fear.
Cole said.
The
I don't
baby
care
she
what
walked over
hours.
with Emma.
Maya
Fly
said.
them
Put
in
her
from
free
tears
arms
were
around
running
Maya.
down her
Just
face.
save
You gave
my
us our daughter back.
Please.
And
You
so
gave
they
us
know
our
you don't
whole
trust
world
me.
back.
Doctors flew
I
in
know
from
I'm
New
just a
York,
poor girl with
California,
nothing.
to give you a home.
But
Even
my
from
mother
your
taught me
They were the
everything.
smartest
Maya
medical
started
minds
saving my
in the
brother.
world. These were
She
different
stood around
tours
with
Emma's
Emma's
tiny
happy
bed. She
tears,
said
looking
that
at her
one
child.
day,
For 2
someone
years,
else
she
might
had
big
been
words
alone.
that
She
Mr.
kept
Cole
no mother
didn't
to hug her.
understand. She protected
But
no
the
father
answer
was
is
always
always
the
now.
same. No brother to
Nobody
blame.
knew what was wrong.
She had been carrying
Nobody
her
knew
Maya's
how to
voice.
help
Her
her.
mother's medicine
Mrs.
from
Cole
place to
died
place.
2 years
Emma's
ago.
mother
No
hadn't
purpose
left the
took
baby
her
side
to
in
survive.
2
Then
days.
sickness took
But
my
now,
father.
she held Emma's small
Standing
hand
in
in
this
this hospital
hospital
room
room
with
with
these
these
people
people
looking at her with
different. She
love
prayed
and
and
gratitude.
cried.
I had
She
nothing
thanked
left.
God
She
for
had
a
no
miracle in a
family.
long
Mr.
time.
Cole
No
wanted to
home.
be
She felt
strong
wanted.
for his
I've been
wife.
moving from
She
place
felt
to
like
place.
she
Carrying
belonged.
my
He was
mother's
breaking
medicine
into
to
pieces.
pieces.
She
Hoping that
whispered.
one
It was
day
almost
I could
midnight
help
on the
someone.
third
Yes.
night when
To
something
make her
strange
feel
happened.
happy.
The next few days were like
A
the
young
room
girl
was
walked
quiet.
into
Emma
the
got
hospital.
stronger and
She looked
stronger.
about 14
The
years old.
doctors
2
ran
days
more
ago. Her
tests,
name was
and
Maya.
I found
People
exactly
talking
what
about
Maya
her
had
clothes
said.
were old.
Man's baby
And
tiny
was
traces
dying.
of poison
Her
from
shoes
the
had
devil's
holes in them.
thorn
They said
plant. Her
no
dark
doctor
skin was
said
saved
Maya's
Maya's
medicine,
medicine,
and I knew
laboratories
I
around
knew
the
in my
world.
heart.
It was the
Scientists
devil's
studied
small,
it,
and
because
I've
I've
seen
seen
it
it
before.
before.
That
Maya
walked
walked
straight
straight
to
to
the
the
front
front
desk.
desk.
Mr.
Mr.
Cole
Cole
looked at her with surprise.
So
Emma's
other children,
can I help you, honey?
moving.
This
The
ever
nurse
happened. The
asked.
monitors were
Are you
beeping
Maya
slower.
moved into the
I
cold
need to
house
see the
is running
baby
out.
on the fourth
She had a
floor.
beautiful
He looked at the
20
20
doctors
doctors
standing
that
around the
looked
room.
out
The
over
one
a
who
garden.
is
The best
very
in the
not
world.
the garden with
And
the
they had
conventional
nothing to
plan.
offer.
The
The
nurse
happy looked at
moved
Maya
immediately.
became
A young
confused.
girl
But
who had lost
garden,
everything.
full of
Visiting
safe,
hours
who had
are
walked
over.
through the night
Beautiful
carrying
farms. How do you know
hope
about
and
the
Mrs.
baby
Cole
upstairs?
took give her
Maya
the medicine
shopping
for
that
Nisa.
information
And
is
sir,
private.
please
You
can't be
shoot,
serious
Maya
without
said.
holes.
Dr.
Her voice
Peterson's
was
urgent,
urgent
but
but
we
fit
have
perfectly.
no idea
I know
what's
you don't
in this
understand.
and art supplies
It
and
could kill
everything
her.
a young girl
I
could
know
want.
what she's
Wrong with
already
her. But the
dying.
most precious
Mr.
thing
Cole
Maya
sighed,
received
shook
was
her
his
hand.
voice was firm.
Young
and
lady,
steady.
and
there are
strong.
20 doctors
Treated her
you've
like
all
their
told
own
me
daughter.
can't figure
There's
out what
Emma
nothing
loved
more you
Maya
can do.
from
I
the
think you
first
need to
moment.
given up. When
Where
Emma
are
saw
you,
Maya,
Maya?
she would
She
reach out
walked
through the
with
night
arms
filled
and
with
giggled.
sadness.
She's
It was
offering
like
I don't
she
have
only
parents.
hope
Like
we have
she
not
remembered
anymore.
that
I'll
Maya
give her the
had
medicine.
saved
But
her.
that doesn't matter.
Maya
Maya started
now.
going to
I
school.
know
What
the exact
matters.
amount.
She was
The
very
baby.
smart.
My mother taught
She
me,
doesn't
especially
have
in
much
science.
time
Mrs.
left.
Cole walked
She told
over
security
and
guard
about
Maya's
Maya's
mother's
homework.
work with
He
plans.
was a big
She
man
said,
with a
all
stern
our
knowledge
baby
that was still
is there
waiting to
Dr.
be
Peterson
discovered.
shook his
This
head.
girl
She
is
decided
confused.
that
I have
one
to
day,
protect
the nurse
this.
said, she would
It
become
goes
a
against
scientist,
everything
just
we
like
know
her
about
mother.
medicine.
Maya didn't
She would
move.
continue the
Then
work.
protest.
The baby is
Finding
poisonous
cures
for Cole
hidden in
said.
nature.
She said
Like,
loudly.
get out of the way.
People that
Not the
regular
kind that
medicine
doctors
know
opened the
about.
bottle.
One
It's
night,
from a
shaking
plant.
hands.
About a
A
month
rare
she
plant
measured out
that
a small
grows in
amount
only a
of
few
Maya
brown
stood in
liquid.
the garden.
The
The
family
family
held
has a
its
garden,
breath
don't they?
as
She
she
looked up at
lifted
the
with
sky
plants
and
from
was
all over
tiny
the
lips.
world.
Thank you,
This
baby.
was the moment
Thank
that
you
would
for
change
teaching
me.
everything.
Thank
The
you
nurse
for
gently
preparing me.
opened Emma's
I
small
saved
mouth
a life
and
today.
let 3
How
drops
because
of
of
poor
you.
girl know
Medicine
these
and
I
fall
promise
onto her
at that
tongue.
exact
Then
moment.
she closed
I'll
the
make
bottle
sure your
and
knowledge
stepped
steps out of
out.
the elevator.
Everyone
I'll make
watched
sure
her
to
get
get
coffee.
Trying
The
to stay
room was
awake.
so quiet.
He
He
heard
heard
Maya's
Maya's
words
words
rustling
and
the
stopped
leaves.
walking.
For 10
And
seconds,
what did you just
nothing
say?
happened.
He asked.
Because
Emma lay
she knew her mother was listening. Maya
turned
turned
inside the
moving.
house.
She
Mr.
looked
Cole sat
something
in his
incredible
eyes.
began.
Thinking
Your
about
baby
everything
touching the
that
plants
has
in your
twitched.
garden. He had
A
spent
rare
his whole life
plant
building
with
a
a
business
small
empire.
cough came from
The
her
poison
throat.
money is in her
The
blood.
monitor that
Collecting
moving
expensive
slowly
heartbeat started beeping.
The doctors
Poor
can't
girl
see
with
it,
nothing
but
but a
not
scary
all of
medicine
medicine
and a
before.
mother's
But I know,
wisdom.
a
Had
healthy
taught
fat.
him seen
The
it
most
before.
important
A strong
lesson of all.
fast.
Mr. Cole's
real
heart
wealth
began
is
to
measured in
race.
dollars.
Look at her
have
lips.
a
It's
special
measured
garden.
in the people you
His
love.
wife
The
loved
lives
collecting
true.
rare plants
And the
from
kind
around the
of
world.
color
Showed to
was
strangers. Emma
fading
had been
away.
in that
He
garden
picked
this
up his
morning
phone
and
and
called his
deeper.
assistant.
Could
I
this
want to start a
strange
foundation,
girl,
right?
he said.
Moved up
Who are
and
you?
down
Maya
the
Foundation.
Foundation. My name is
Dr.
Maya.
Peterson
rushed
into
to
natural
check
medicine.
I can save your
His
daughter.
eyes grew
Kids,
wide.
you have to hurry.
Her
Her
oxygen
she
levels
doesn't
come
sure
right
that no
time.
child
Her
has
heart
to
rate
Cole looked at
stabilized.
this young girl with torn
This
clothes
is
we'll make
and
sure her
worn
mother's
shoes.
work
But
is
it
never
looked like
forgotten
she
right
had
in
nothing
front
upstairs.
of her
Everyone's
eyes
eyes
Cole
held
tucked
something
within
powerful.
5 minutes.
Knowledge.
The baby
Emma
was
opened her
completely
eyes.
healthy now,
Truth.
growing beautiful blue
Come with
eyes
me,
stronger
he said.
every day.
Thought
The
they
security
might
guard
step
stepped
again.
forward. In a
She
small
looked around
round
the
that they
room.
had brought
You
in,
can't just bring
confused
random
Maya
people
was
up to
all
the
the children
children's
staring
floor.
at her.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Then
Cole
she
saw her
turned to
mother's
girls
face and
and
felt her heart
smiled.
My daughter is
Sweet,
dying.
perfect
Every
smile.
doctor in the world
She
is
thought about
upstairs
how
to
close
and
they
none
are
of them
to
to
losing
losing
her.
scooped
Emma.
her baby
If
into
this
her
girl
arms.
has doctors in the
She
world,
held Emma
chance
tight,
failed.
knowing something they
Crying
don't. God
and
had sent
laughing
them
at
an
taking
angel
that
in
chance.
torn clothes.
Now
Mr.
move
Cole
and
wrapped his
warn
arms
shoes.
around
They got
both
in
an
the
elevator
angel who
together.
had
Tears
suffered
streaming
terrible
down his
loss,
face.
quietly,
Still
for
for
the
the
first
first
time
time
in
in
3
days.
days.
An angel
His daughter
who
was
heard their
alive
tragedy
and
looked down
awaiting
in his
her.
arms.
If
That
you're lying,
night, the doctors
if
stood
this
at
is some
Grove's
kind
house,
of trick,
unable
with
to believe
peace.
what
It's
they had
not.
just
A billionaire
seen.
had
Maya
learned
said
that
money
money failed.
can't buy.
I
It's something
promise you,
bigger
Mr.
than
Cole,
science
doctors
had
had
learned
I'm here to
that
help.
wisdom
Maya stood in
comes
the
from
corner
the
elevator
unexpected
doors
places.
opened happened on the
Tears
floor,
rolled
and a
down
young
her
girl
cheeks.
who had
Mr.
lost
Cole
everything
wondered if he
and
had
found
made
the
the
biggest
biggest
mistake
done
of
it.
his life.
She had
Saved
saved
a
a
life.
mysterious
Mother's
girl
medicine
was
was
the
perfect.
miracle
Her mother
he had
would
been
be
praying
somewhere
so
in
proud.
heaven.
The
A
doctors
mother's
were
Dr.
about to
Peterson
find
walked
out
out
knowing
that
that
night.
sometimes
His
his
face
the
only
answer
comes
now.
from the most
That's
her
how
life's
better
work
place.
had saved a
When
child.
they walked into
you an
Emmet's
apology,
room,
and
he
every
said,
head
I should have
turned.
listened to you.
Dr.
Dr.
Peterson
How did you
stood
know
up
to
calmly.
create a
Night.
miracle
Mr.
that
Cole
science
wiped her
alone
eyes.
never could?
This is
I
Maya.
had a dream
End
3
Mr.
nights
Cole
ago.
said.
I
The
saw
beginning
a
of
baby
baby girl
girl
wrong
with
with
blue
them,
eyes
and proof that
dying in a
sometimes
hospital.
went silent.
The poorest
I
person
saw
in
her one of the
America's
doctors
crying.
from New York
and I heard my mother's voice
not
telling
a
me to
happy
come.
laugh, telling
A
me
mean laugh.
that this was why
You
she
brought a
made me
child up
carry the
here?
medicine
A
all
homeless
this time.
child. I
By
didn't
the
know
look of
where
it,
to go at first.
Sir, but
we are
yesterday
trained medical
I heard people
professionals.
talking about Mr.
This
Cole's
is
sick baby.
ridiculous. And I knew it was
Mrs.
the girl
Cole
from my
looked up
dream.
from Emma's bedside. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying. Harrison, what's going on? Maya stepped forward. She didn't look scared, even though all these important doctors were staring at her. She walked right up to Emma's bed and looked down at the baby. Emma's breathing was very shallow now. Her lips were turning blue. She's getting worse, Maya said quietly. We don't have much time. Dr. Peterson put his hand on Maya's shoulder. Young lady, I don't know what you think you know, but this is a sterile medical environment. You need to leave before you cause more problems. Maya turned to face him. My mother was a plant scientist, she said. Her voice was steady but sad. She studied rare plants from all over the world. She taught me everything she knew. We lived in Kenya, in a small village near a forest. When I was 10 years old, my baby brother got sick. Just like this baby. The same symptoms. Fever, trouble breathing, his body shutting down. Everyone in the room was listening now. The doctors in our village didn't know what was wrong, Maya continued. But my mother figured it out. My brother had touched a plant called the devil's thorn. It grows in only 3 places in the world. Kenya, parts of South America, and 1 place in Asia. The plant has tiny thorns that you can barely see. When they touch your skin, they release a poison. A poison that moves very slowly through your blood. Most doctors never see it because it's so rare.